So I've been playing Call of Duty for a while, and with the news that the new Call of Duty for this year is going to be Modern Warfare 4, I figured I would talk about the things that I don't like about Call of Duty in hopes that those things would change. I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. When it came out, it was amazing, and it was vastly successful. However, with its success and its popularity came issues. And I'm not talking about the issues that weren't the developer's fault. Stuff that was even a console problem. There were a lot of cheaters, aimbotters, boost lobbies, and multi-accounters. People that would sell accounts to other people so that they didn't have to unlock everything and be 10th prestige. People with modded controllers. Although these things were an issue and cheating really sucks. I even have a previous video about cheating. Specifically on World War II when it came out. Actually before it came out. It was the beta. But cheating sucks anyway, whether it's on console or PC and no matter what game it is. However, that's not what we're talking about today. I'm talking about the stuff that's been in the game either since Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, or stuff that's been added since then, and it's just kind of making the game worse. Stuff that could be controlled by the developers. I'm not saying that I hate Call of Duty. There are things in Call of Duty that I don't really like though. Like I said, I've been playing Call of Duty for a really long time now, almost every single Call of Duty since Modern Warfare, with the exception of the one where they're in space, I think. When I first started to play, I was in a clan, and we would practice, we would learn the callouts, we would play a lot. We played through World at War and Modern Warfare 2, but when Modern Warfare 2 came out and it introduced even more perks, that's when it started to not be so great. So let's get into a few of these things. Just keep in mind that all of the examples that I have are going to be from the newest Call of Duty as of today, Black Ops 4, and I'm playing on PC at the moment. But I've played plenty of console Call of Duties, and I've seen the same thing happening on both PC and on console. The first example I have here, there is kind of an obviousness to it. On the opposite team, there is a Master Prestige player, and it's obvious with the orange text. But also, if you notice on our team, we have two people that are under level 15, and they have a pretty generic icon. Now, don't jump to conclusions. Icons and levels don't matter to an extent. They don't. You've heard it several times from other people. Level does not matter, and that is true. It doesn't matter to an extent. You can have someone that doesn't prestige even once, but is level 55 and has played enough that he could have been Master Prestige, and he's really good. And on the opposite side of the fence, you could have someone who is Master Prestige, they've played a lot, but they just really, really stink at the game. With that in mind, let's look at the results. Master Prestige player is top on his team, and the two new players on my team are new. Now, this isn't definitive, so let's look at another one. This is the result of another game where it kind of has an opposite effect. I got some new people on my team, but there's also some quote-unquote new people on the other team, and the one in top place, wow, look at his ratio. Here's another one where the 10th Prestige is on my team, and of course we win. Not too terribly much of a margin there. Here's another one where, again, you got new players on the opposite team. That's kind of weird. Here's another one where it favors, again, the guy with Master Prestige, so it's kind of going back and forth, and I have games like this constantly, so it gets really frustrating. And then this happens. Alright, I got into a lobby, and I'm playing solo, but I got into a queue with 4 other strangers, and I thought, okay, cool, this doesn't happen very often. I'm in a new lobby, we're starting fresh, and then this. That is an entire team with more than half of the people above 450 Master Prestige. And this is the result. Now, I'm stopping it right there to show you that they said GG. Now, they didn't go GGEZ in a non-humble way, brag about how they won. They weren't those types of people who deserve a kick in the pants. And in all the other clips that I chose, I didn't choose people that were having a negative attitude or anything and say, hey, this guy's a jerk. I didn't want to point anybody out like that. No, I believe that these guys are legitimately good. The problem is how they put us playing together. I did not really research if there was some kind of hidden ranking system, but if there is, it's hard to believe that it's working correctly. And it's kind of obvious when you see things like this. My next point is general ridiculousness. And let me give you some context. In Call of Duty 4 and in World at War, they had 3 kill streaks. Modern Warfare had the UAV, airstrike, and helicopter, while World at War had the recon plane, the artillery strike, and dogs. Now, there was not a lot wrong with those kill streaks for those games. However, when Modern Warfare 2 came out, it gave me the impression that they added everything that they thought was cool without regard to balance. Of course, they had the 25 kill streak nuke that would win the game no matter whether you were losing or not. Modern Warfare 2 was also the start of knife running. Now, they had knives before, and it's an instant kill, but it wasn't you get to sprint unlimitedly faster than everyone else, and you have your knife out permanently, and you can just lunge at people from 5 feet away and stab them and kill them instantly, even though you were shot in the face with a shotgun. Those two things were probably my biggest complaints when I played Modern Warfare 2. Don't get me wrong, that game was fun, but it didn't always seem balanced. Back to the kill streak idea, the kill streaks earned more kill streaks. The kills that you got from kill streaks would count toward getting the next kill streak. When the first Black Ops came out by Treyarch, they remediated that a little bit. The other things that Modern Warfare 2 added were akimbo and automatic shotguns that shot like crazy and still exist today. To me, things like this are ridiculous. Let's look at a few examples. Now, keep in mind there are cheap weapons or cheap combos in a lot of games. It happens all the time. But when it's used so often and they keep adding more and more, then it gets lost in the spirit of competitiveness. Knife. Knife. Oh, here's an example of inconsistency. Here I notice my teammate is getting through the razor wire without getting damaged much, so then I think, well, if I go slow enough and try it, I will get through it as well. And no, wow, it's taking a lot of health, and knife runner anyway. Knife. Oh, here's a specialist with an ability that is basically Genji's, and he gets to move fast and slash people with instant kills, and it's basically worse than knife running. And I'm going to come back and talk about the specialists, but first let's see some shotguns.
Ballistic shot. Hostiles have established multiple UAVs.
Do we really need a shotgun with incendiary shells, even though we have a shotgun that shoots 5 times a second? Like with the razor wire example, here are some more examples of inconsistencies. This guy gets to destroy a shield by ground pounding, while I get to waste 3 rockets shooting at it, and notice how there's a teammate on the minimap. He's on the safe side of the shield, also trying to destroy it. So the gravity slam must be more powerful than 3 rockets. Actually, no, it's not, because this guy shoots a flamethrower from 20 feet away and kills me through my shield, and I don't get to kill this shield bearer from 4 feet away when I gravity slam. Things like this feel really inconsistent. Here I'm trying to knife run, and yeah, I do have a knife runner class for the times that I'm not having fun or when I'm knifed so much that it gets frustrating, so I might as well try to give them a taste of their own medicine. But typically I don't because I hate it. Anyway, here is a dog. Since when can you not knife a dog? I didn't get any hit markers. Let's take a look at kill streaks. First of all, they take forever to destroy. That thing should be destroyed with much less damage than I'm putting into it. Now, I understand that the flares eliminate the first rocket, but it takes 2 more rockets and light machine gun fire. And sometimes it doesn't matter whether it's the sniper's nest or just the normal attack chopper. What I find hilarious sometimes is that if you shoot the sniper that's perched on the side of the chopper, nothing happens. I also find it ridiculous that the sniper's nest can shoot through smoke and trees with dead precision. There's an example of a strike team member I'm shooting at, and I happen to kill the normal player behind him before killing him. At best, they are aimbots that are bullet sponges. This example gets even worse because not only do they have a strike team, they called in a thresher, and even though I was controlling the spawn, at some point people stopped spawning next to me. As soon as enemies got close enough, they killed my teammates, and now they're spawning on the other side, and I'm all alone. But we'll come back to spawns in a moment. The last example that I have as far as kill streaks go is when this happens.
We're behind. You know what to do. Net call. Hostile Hellstorm inbound.
2 instant spawn kills in a row. Like I said, we're going to be talking about spawns later, but they kind of go together at this point. Whether it's a kill streak or a score streak based Call of Duty, a person really good at the game is going to basically be rewarded with these streaks that will suppress the enemy team. In the example where I was spawn killed multiple times in a row, twice there, but I feel like it's happened more than twice before. If you're not given the room to breathe or counter in any way, and you're constantly getting killed, I've seen whole teams just get demolished. That's 12 plus kills. That's 12 plus additional points in team deathmatch. That's more time that the enemy team gets to have with the objective, whatever the objective is. That's more time that they get to be on the objective while you're stuck in spawn dying. If you compound the problem with kill streaks not able to be destroyed very quickly and you're dying right away in spawn, then that's kind of an issue to me. It favors the team that is good and earns the kill streaks, and then snowballs the problem even more. So I really hope that somebody thinks about this for the next Call of Duty. Let's put that on the list. Let's move on and talk about spawns. I didn't pull out any extra examples as video examples, but if you play it long enough, you're going to see bad spawns. You already saw the spawn killing from score streaks / kill streaks, but when I started off playing Call of Duty 4, and I was in a clan like I said before, and we knew that there was some kind of invisible center line of some sort, and if too many people crossed it, then people were going to spawn behind us. So we would typically just stay on our line and try not to push up too much. People are going to come to us. Today, I don't really play with a clan. Everybody has moved on with their lives. They've grown up. They've gone to college. They have a spouse. They probably have kids now, and so on. And I have too. But when I do play, I am usually just solo queuing. And it feels like today that these random people that I get in a game with on my team, they don't really know how to control a spawn and stay on one side. And I used to be a really good sniper. I would snipe all the time in Call of Duty 4. And then today, it's okay. I'm still okay with it. But lately, it's been a little frustrating if you pick a sniper. And if I do, I have to run across the map with everyone else as a sniper. Because if I am concentrating forward and we flip spawns, I'm going to get shot in the back. This has been a problem of mine ever since I started playing Call of Duty, and I know that the developers may not be able to control this one aspect of spawning, but if somebody could think of something, it would make the game so much better. However, this next thing is something that I believe that developers would be able to control. I have been spawn killed an uncountable amount of times, and I've also spawn killed other people. I have watched them as I'm kind of walking into their spawn and they just appear, and it's happened to me. Now if it's in the middle of the situation where people are rushing to the other side back and forth constantly to flip-flop the spawns, there is this moment where maybe no one on the opposite team is in this designated area that's considered spawn. I don't know how it works, But if it does work in such a way where it sees this area of spawn and says, well, there's no enemies here, I'm going to spawn you because it's safe. Well, there's a problem with that because I have seen kill cams where I'm not there and then all of a sudden I show up. They may not be in that designated area, but they're looking at it. It could be considered safe, and there you go. You can spawn kill somebody. I really feel like this could be fixed based on how close is an enemy to spawn and what is their point of view. Are they looking at it, and how, what is their line of sight? The next thing I want to talk about is the idea of adding a new system into Call of Duty, or rather having too many systems. This is also sort of a continuation of ridiculousness. In a moment I'm going to talk about the specialists, which came in with Black Ops 3 and are here in Black Ops 4, but let's back up a little bit. Call of Duty 4 introduced the basic systems that we still have today. It was truly innovative. It was the first Call of Duty to have Create a Class, the perk system, and the kill streak system. All three started with Modern Warfare, and it would be hard to imagine a Call of Duty without those systems. Black Ops was the first to turn Create a Class into a pick 10 system. It was a great way to allow more customization without going overboard. You want all this stuff on your primary weapon? Well, you can't keep your secondary weapon, or maybe even this perk. It was a trade-off kind of deal, but I think it all worked well. It was a refresh on an existing system, and it didn't break balance. Now we have a specialist system, and it's a neat idea. You got one guy who can set up barriers, another person can call in a dog, another person can use a flamethrower. The unfortunate thing is that not everyone has an instant kill ability, and some are too overpowered, like Spectre. Some of these things were streaks in the past, like dogs, flamethrowers, War Machine. So with all this stuff added onto the systems that we already had, it feels kind of like an overcrowded pool. Yeah, you're still kind of having fun, but people keep bumping into you and you don't want to be touched. I don't know, I couldn't think of a better analogy. I know that at this point some of you are thinking, well, it's just like Overwatch. They have different characters who have different abilities. Some are really powerful while some are passive. They even have a Spectre. Well, the problem with that argument is there aren't any kill streaks in Overwatch. It doesn't have a Create a Class system. The characters can't change their weapons. You can't change perks around. The characters have different levels of health and shields. It's hard to make a comparison on a singular system in one game to another game that has kind of a similar system. With Overwatch, there are too many differences and other factors. So back to my point. I think specialists are too much, and I hope they won't continue in future Call of Duties, at least in Modern Warfare 4. I'm perfectly happy with the kill streak system, a Create a Class system or a pick 10 system, and a perk system. But I don't think we need to add too much for the sake of fun and simplicity. With every extra layer that is added, it makes the overall game harder to balance. So I'm trying to tie this all up together in a nice looking bow. It's all about balance and fun. But when things like this happen,
Enemy strike team deploying.
yeah, you made that one guy's day, but you also simultaneously managed to cause 6 TVs to break. I've seen several remarks about uninstalling. The point is to have more people playing your game. If you have completely unbalanced one-sided matches like this, then it's like a pro league team playing against Little League. It's not fun for the casual player, and it's not challenging enough for the skilled player who manages to play for several hours every day. The point I'm trying to make is, please Infinity Ward, make a great Modern Warfare 4. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you made it this long. I know it's a lengthy video, but it had to be said. I actually cut out quite a lot. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter, and I'm also on Twitch. See you guys later. Bye.